Hello, hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Sam Plays Final Fantasy 1 again. So the last episode was a little bit of a shorter episode. This time we actually have a goal. I've spent some time leveling up. I am now level 8 across all party members because nobody has died yet. Trust me, it will happen. It happened a lot last time. I forget, there was one character in my party that had just fallen behind because they died like super early on. But we are now in the Chaos Shrine. We are going to go ahead and go after Garland so that we can save Princess Sarah. I partially remember some of this stuff, but I really just don't remember the rest of it, so most of it I'm playing by ear. I probably will get to a point where I have to use a guide again. The thing with these old RPGs is that a lot of the time, RPGs were still pretty new, JRPGs were still pretty new to the West, and I remember there was this whole thing about them making Final Fantasy Mystic Quest because they thought, ooh, a leather cap, because they thought that RPGs were just way too hard for like Americans and stuff to understand, so they made Mystic Quest, which was supposed to be like a baby's first RPG or something like that. The thing is like, old RPGs aren't necessarily hard, they just take a lot of like patience and discernment. Whoa, that's quite the party. They take a lot of patience and discernment, and basically it's all a matter of just paying attention to your surroundings and what people are saying. So if you're talking to somebody in like a village and they basically said, oh man, I've heard some rumors out in the west. Well, that just means you just go west, and you're supposed to find something in the west. It may not tell you what you're supposed to find. You know, maybe you find a village, or maybe you find a monster, or a cave, or something like that, but you're like, okay, that gives me my next hint that I have to go west. And that's kind of how Final Fantasy works. They'll be like, oh, I heard that such and such was happening in this town, or they'll be like, oh, I'm from this town, which is this direction. And so you basically just have to play it by ear after that, and you have to just go with the flow, and kind of just go from there. So, obviously the prince told us, or not the prince, the king told us that he won't rebuild the bridge unless we save Sarah, so that's what we're currently doing. But the thing is I like to look around. The thing with dungeons is dungeons are obviously going to be the most, dangerous places in the game, due to the fact that they have, you know, the bosses, and they actually, like, progress the story. But the thing with dungeons also, outside of these crazy monster encounter rates, the other thing about dungeons is that they also, contain a lot of loot. So, and the thing is like, a lot of the time what you'll do is you'll get pretty good loot from these places. So imagine if you go to a town and they're selling a sword for like 2,000 gil or something like that. Then the thing is you could probably find that same sword in one of the dungeons. So you always want to grind, you always want to like try and find the gear, or all the treasures in the dungeon so that you can get some good stuff out of it. Oh, the Mystic Key. Okay, so I do remember that there was a lot of stuff that was locked behind, like, a special key, and I forget who gives you the special key. Oh, werewolves cause poison. Gross. Okay, some of these things are slowly coming back to me. Poison in this game, I don't know how many of you have played, like, original Pokemon, or just Pokemon in general, but poison works very similarly, so when your character is poisoned, it not only affects them in battle, it will affect them as you're walking. So as you're walking, you'll take damage. So you want to make sure that you cure the poison as soon as possible. It's one of those things that's highly annoying, because it can really make or break you in a dungeon if you're taking a lot of poison damage. I mean, obviously, if you're like, okay, I can make it until then, and you're feeding your characters potion after potion after potion just to keep their health up, and then you make it to the boss, well, you're essentially taking extra damage, and you're really just risking it. It doesn't matter if you're the type of person like me that like tries to over level. Like poison, like I said, poison damage of any kind can just wipe you out in an instant. I am still really liking the music. Like, I think this jam in the Chaos Shrine, like, I really, really like it. I'm just gonna have to come back here and just listen to it sometime, because it's really, really good. Another Mystic Key. Oh my gosh. There better be some, like, good stuff behind these doors. But yeah, I'm an absolute loot whore, so anytime that there's, like, a treasure room that I can't get to, it just drives me nuts. I know that you need, mystic keys for a lot of the kingdoms. They have, like, secret, treasure rooms. Excuse me, I'm really tired. I know that they have, like, a lot of treasure rooms, and I think I'm gonna need a mystic key for that, but I'm just gonna check, once we get back to the palace, probably. And then, yeah, there's gonna be, like, a lot of dungeons that have mystic keys. And I think that's what I really like about this game, is that you can backtrack, but let's see. There's Mr. Garland. Hello! The king will have no choice but exchange the kingdom for his daughter's life. Cornelia will be mine. He's just like, who's there? He's like, I, Garland, will knock you all down. Sure you will, buddy. Let's see how much my my leveling's paid off. Let's see how quickly this guy goes down. I don't remember Garland being challenging by any means. I just want to use fire just because I haven't used magic yet. Not really. It only did 19 damage. Oh, that wasn't even worth it. Okay. I mean, he's pretty chunky, but my monk can take, you know, some pretty good hits out of him. So, all right, 33 damage. Whoa! All right, so obviously he is already down. That did not take long at all. Okay, so when I say that I overlevel, this is kind of just like what I mean. Now, obviously not all bosses are gonna be like this, so don't worry about it. And now we got Princess Sarah. Hello. You've come to rescue me? Yes, yes we have. I'm Sarah, Princess of Cornelia. Words could never be enough to thank you. This is the first time anyone's ever defeated Garland. You must allow me to show you my gratitude. Please accompany me to Castle Cornelia. This is the first time anybody's defeated Garland. Well, this is the first time on this game that someone's probably leveled all the way to level 8. Thank you for returning my daughter alive. I cannot doubt that you are the warriors of light from Lucan's prophecy. You should hear the prophecy in entirety, if I may. When darkness veils the world, 4 warriors of light shall come. If they cannot gather the shards of light, then darkness will consume all. The 4 crystals will never shine again. Now I hear that a crystal can be found to the continent to our north. Restoring light to the crystal is our only hope of ridding the world of the monsters which plague it. I will have a bridge to the north built as promise. I pray that you succeed in restoring light to the crystals and to the world. Yeah, no pressure. You know? No pressure at all. Alright. This loot has been entrusted to the Princess of Cornelia for many generations. When he abducted me, Garland took the loot as well. I want you to have it. A loot? Okay. I'm not really remembering a loot. Yeah, I'm not really remembering a loot. The dancing girl in town. No, yeah, I already know about the dancing girl. Sarah's thoughts are always with you. Oh my gosh, Sarah has a crush on us? I cannot thank you enough for rescuing Lady Sarah. No, you can give me a mystic key. If you give me a mystic key, then, you know, we could call it even, I guess. So yeah, I'm just gonna have a look around the castle, just because, like I said, there are buildings where, you know, there's like secret crevices or whatever. While a lot of the walls look like they are shut off, you can obviously go around the outside. So like that wizard guy, we haven't really spoken to him, just because you have to get to him, and in order to get to him, you have to kind of go around. Excuse me again. You have to go around the outskirts. But yeah, you have to go around the outskirts of the castle in order to get to him. And that's the only thing I hate, is that sometimes you'll go around the outskirts of a castle, and then you'll literally step outside the castle. They'll be like, oh, you left? And I'll be like, no, I didn't leave. I was trying to go around the outskirts. And they're like, oh, but you went a little too far, so you left? And it's like, no, I didn't leave. I didn't leave, I swear. So, yeah, old RPGs are a little bit, or old video games in general, with their barriers and stuff, and their, I guess just, yeah, just where they're mapped and stuff can be kind of frustrating at times. So, but yeah, so we're gonna go around the edges here. This one's nice and it has a wall, but I strictly remember that there are some that are just really finicky, I think. And they don't have this, like, outer wall or this outer barrier or whatever. Hello, our ancestors sealed weapons within the treasure room. Yeah, and the king's like, hold them until we have the Warriors of Light. You already said I'm the Warrior of Light, so I can go in there, right? Yeah, I can go in these, right? No, I need the Mystic Key! Ugh. It's so frustrating. But yeah, this is what I mean. I can appreciate that even in this situation, I can appreciate that they added an element of backtracking so that you do have to go back if you want, like, special stuff. Orders from His Majesty, you'll do well, or we'll do our part to fulfill Lucan's prophecy. Go, little men, go. Rebuild the bridge. This is a really nice looking bridge, though. And man, they work fast. I hope they get paid, like, well. Let me see. What does this bridge have to do with the prophecy? The 4 warriors of light are here. They're here in Cornelia. I feel like that was supposed to be a lot more epic, but... Alright, so I guess we are just going to, we're gonna cross this bridge. We're gonna cross this bridge, and we're gonna see what this is all about. Oh? Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. And so their quest began. As the 4 warriors of light, they felt overwhelmed by the great task destiny had placed before them. They did not even know the true significance of the 4 crystals they held in their hands. The crystals that once, long ago, held a light that shone so brilliantly. The time for their journey had come. The time to cast off the veil of darkness and bring the world once more into light. Okay, I just had to make sure there was no more text. I'm just waiting awkwardly. This scroll's so slow. No, this is really nice. Like, this is very cinematic. This is very pretty. So, I don't really remember this part. I don't know if it was in Dawn of Souls. But it probably was. There's just so much I don't remember. But yeah, there's, like I said, there's just a lot that I don't remember about this game, which is going to be fun. It's going to be fun getting to rediscover it again. So yeah, Final Fantasy, as I said, Final Fantasy's just always been, like, super important to me. Ooh, new achievement. Final Fantasy's always been just super important to me. When I was a kid, my mom had this friend that would watch me and my sister during the summer. And she had a son who was around my age. He was a little bit older. And so he had a PlayStation. I didn't. I have no idea where I'm going, by the way. But he had a PlayStation, I didn't, and I just remember one summer he told me that he had this new video game he wanted me to try, or he wanted us to play. And he usually had, like, really mature games. But anyways, he put in the game. It turns out it was Final Fantasy IX, but I didn't know that. I just saw that it was Final Fantasy. I didn't know how to read Roman numerals back then, so I just saw Final Fantasy. I mean, in my head, I probably thought it was Final Fantasy X or something, you know? But we started playing it, and I was just immediately enraptured, only because I had never really seen an RPG before. Never seen a role-playing game in my life, and I was so excited because you could name Zidane whatever you wanted to name him, and because he had a tail, I named him Gohan. I was like, we have to name him Gohan, because I was, like, a huge fan of Dragon Ball Z. Yay, level up. And, so I had no idea what to name him, and then I named him Gohan, and then I just remember it being funky and funny and just weird, and it was so complicated, and I had no idea what I was doing. But me and this kid, we played this game all summer, like, all 4 discs, We went through it all summer, and I just remember the final boss, we ended up dying, whole party wiped, and I was really upset. And then all of a sudden this angel showed up and just resurrected all of us. And in my head, in my tiny child brain, this was like the closest thing to a miracle I'd ever seen. And oh my gosh, like after that I was like, I told my mom, I was like, I need Final Fantasy, I need it. What's this? Oh, Matoya's cave. Oh my gosh, the music. Oh, I love Matoya. So Matoya is probably like one of my favorite characters only because of Final Fantasy XIV. I guess I just really never gave Matoya much thought before, but Final Fantasy XIV really characterized her for me. What in the world? My eye, my eye. Thump. I can't see a blasted thing without my crystal eye. Who could have stolen it from me? I wonder, is the crystal eye that thing that Garland was in front of? Because, like, it looks crystalline. Like, I'm really forgetting. I feel like it wouldn't be that simple, but at the same time it might be that simple, because sometimes it is. So, like, I truly wonder, like, if that is the case. Like, if that crystal eye is, the one that we got from Garland. So I might have to make a quick stop back to the Chaos Shrine, and then we'll kind of just go from there. I'll see if that's really what's going on in just a second. Alrighty, and we are back. So it turns out, yeah, that was not it. So we'll have to go back and mess with that some other time. I forget what it's for. So we have made it to the town of Provoka. Talking to villagers before, in a previous episode, we found out that Provoka is overrun by pirates. These blasted pirates, they're running around looting and pillaging. So we do know that Provoka has a pirate problem, and that we are going to have to solve it. I do believe this is where we get our ship. We're not really in need of healing right now. I'm just trying to... Oh, well, I was about to say, I was just trying to find the pirates. You've got cannonballs of steel to be talking to the great pirate. Let's keel haul him. Aye, aye, Captain. So this is a really tiny boss battle. I forget. I don't know if we fight the Buccaneers and then the Captain, but I don't think we fight the Captain. I'm really not sure though. Like I said, my memory of this game is kind of fuzzy. I have not touched it in so long. I really didn't even make it this far the last time that I was trying to do this. Because I remember I had planned out a video that was literally called What Happened to Final Fantasy. And it was all in regards to my playlist, you know, what had happened with me playing it, and yeah, so I wasn't really sure. Like, I was just leveling while I was talking, and then I was like, oh, I'll just get back to it. But again, I was using the same emulator, I was using the same ROM, and it was just a nightmare. Because even then, I think the ROM ended up breaking right away. Get out of here, pirates. I'm sorry, young masters, I'll be making no more fuss, I swear. Yeah. I want you to take my ship for your trouble. Can you find it in your heart to forgive an old pirate? Da 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 da. We get a ship. So now we have a boat. I've had myself a change of heart. I plan to buckle down and be the hardest worker in town. You believe me, don't you? No, not really, but it is what it is. Alright, so that was really simple. We defeated the pirates. I really don't believe that system's supposed to be hard. That fight. I don't believe that it's really supposed to give people trouble, because the ship really is an essential part of Final Fantasy. I mean, it really is, like, one of the main ways that you're gonna, like, travel through town. So, even though a lot of the NPCs say a lot of the same thing, essentially you're just gonna want to talk to everybody in case they have, like, some hint on where to go next. What do you got here? Ooh, iron armor. I could use that. Gimme. Oh, and a leather shield too? Heck yeah, give. Anytime that you go into town, you really are going to want to just see what's available in the town. Every town in classic RPGs has, like, some new gear. I just remember in Dragon Quest IX, when I was doing Dragon Quest IX, the gear was, like, every town I went to, the first thing I did was I would go outside, I would grind for a bunch of money, and then I would just buy all the gear that I needed, and I'd essentially just keep up with that. And that's essentially what you want to do in these types of old games. You want to go to a new area, you kind of want to scope out the difficulty level of the monsters, because that's going to tell you, like, what sort of challenge you're going to be waiting, or that you're going to be having later on, or at least in the immediate area. So, like, if you run into an area and you see that there's a lot more monsters that can cause poison, you're just like, okay, I'm going to want a lot more antidotes. Or if there's a lot more, like, magical monsters, you'd be like, okay, I wanna be able to either silence them, or I wanna have protections against whatever, like, elements. Okay, broadsword, nice. Or a battle axe. The thing is I really just don't want to lose the accuracy, and I don't know if I can use a shield with a battle axe. I'm pretty sure that I can, but I really just don't want to. And that scimitar, like, I don't want to take the damage drop, so I think I'm just gonna do 2 broadswords, if anything. Yeah, we're just gonna go with that for a little while. We're gonna see if that works out. But yeah, so you essentially just want to, like, go through the towns. You want to see if they have any new items. You want to see if they have any new magic. You want to see how much everything costs, because you want to make sure that you have everything that you want before you go to a new area. And I'm not saying that it's because you'll soft lock yourself, but just say that you end up in a really hard area and then it's really hard to backtrack from. If your characters are already weak and then you end up in a dangerous area, backtracking can actually be pretty impossible. Like, you can end up getting yourself killed multiple times just trying to backtrack. And then, you know, you're not only wasting time, but you're adding to your frustration. So it's better just to have everything before you leave, even if there's nothing to do. So, like, Provoka, this town, I'm pretty sure, is just for the sake of getting the ship. And then once you get the ship, I mean, that's all there is to it. So I really just don't think that there's anything else. So yeah, I'm trying to make these episodes, like, a little bit longer. This is just the church. I'm trying to make these episodes just, like, a little bit longer, but this is, I guess, all in all, minus, like, the level grinding, it is... I'm from Milmond. The earth the earth rots. Okay, so that's what I mean. So that guy just told us that he's from a place where the earth is rotting. Obviously, that has to do with, like, the earth crystal or whatever. So people will give us hints as to where they're from, and that'll tell us where we need to go. But yeah, I am trying to make these longer episodes, but unfortunately in these beginning areas, a lot of it is fluff. A lot of it is actually, like, leveling up and figuring out where we're supposed to go. So, you know, but yeah, like I said, every town you go to, just make sure that you're saving up some gil, you're buying everything that you need before you leave the area. Provoka really is only for getting the ship. I don't think that there's anything else in Provoka that we need. So legit, we are just going to be heading to the next area, because we're now at the point where we need to start going after the crystals. I forget which crystal is first, but there are a few tiny things we have to do before we go after the first crystal, I think. But I can't really remember. Like I said, this is all just off the top of my head or whatever. So yeah, I'm just gonna, like, look around real quick, and then once I figure out where we're supposed to go, because I really don't remember, I don't think we're going after the Crystal Eye right now. I think that's something that we're gonna have to, like, come back for. But obviously it's wanting us to take the ship somewhere, but this is where it kind of becomes confusing, and you really have to pay attention to what the villagers have been saying, because at this point with the ship, we could technically go anywhere. And so I just gotta figure out where we're going next, because I kind of want to keep us on track, and I obviously don't want to, like, wander around forever until I figure it out. So I'll do a little exploration on my own, and then if I can't figure out where I'm going, then we'll just have to use a guide and figure out where we're going. I'm only going to use the guide so far as to figure out the direction, and then once I have the direction, we'll just we'll go back to it on our own. So, alright, give me a second, and I will hopefully figure it out, and I'll get back when I have figured it out. Okay? Alright, cool. Alright, and we are back. And we are on our boat. So I have figured out where we have to go. I wandered for a minute. I'm not gonna say, like, I leveled up a lot or anything. It was just, like, a level or so. But yeah, I wandered around for a minute and then I was like, okay, screw this. This is taking too long. I am a very impatient person. So we are supposed to be heading to the kingdom of Elfheim. So the way that it's been described to me is we are going to head to Cornelia's the southern dock right there by Cornelia. We are going to continue heading south. And then from there, I guess we are supposed to find the kingdom of Elfheim. Now, we did talk to an NPC before about Elfheim, and the prince, who is supposed to become the next elf king, he's fallen into a slumber. So, I mean, I guess that's, like, the whole thing is we're gonna try and figure out how to wake him up. The thing is, like, I'm not gonna say that I didn't, like, already look that up. Because I was like, okay, how do we wake him up? Because I thought maybe we could use the loot. Because like I said, I do not remember this loot. I do not remember it at all. So whenever I was reading the guide and it was like, oh, go to Elfheim. And I was like, okay. And they're like, I knew that's where the Sleepy Prince was. These Sahagin, they make me laugh, dude. Especially knowing how they look like later on in the series. These guys are just goofy. They're like little sea monkeys and it's freaking adorable. But anyways, so I already knew that we were supposed to wake him up, and that's from talking to the NPCs. And in my head, I immediately said, "Oh, well, we got that loot. If it's a magical loot, then maybe we could wake up the Elf King or the Prince or whatever." But then I kind of like glanced at the guide, and it had already scrolled a little bit, and then it was like, "Oh no, you're gonna have to go somewhere else to do a thing." And I was like, "Ah, no." So. If I could ever stop yawning. So we do have a lot of stuff ahead of us. We essentially are going to have to go to Elfheim. I am going to take some time to talk to the NPCs just in case if there are more hints. I also want to check out the shops. You always just want to check out the shops. You want to see, like, again, what they have available. We bought everything that we could in Provoka, and we went ahead and we obviously have everything that we can get. Oh, it's a shark. I can't even speak now. The shark got me stunned. We obviously have everything that we needed out of Cornelia as well. 80 damage and that thing didn't fall. 22 damage and that thing didn't fall. That shark is beefy. I will say that even though I should probably just level up on the water right now, because like those enemies are the ones that offer the most. Because let's see, yeah, 119 like per battle and a ton of gil. So I'm not sure if this is the dock that we're supposed to land on, but I guess it is. Well, I guess, can we go to the south side of Elfheim? I don't know. I'm not going to worry about the parking, because that's obviously Elfheim, like it has to be. So I'm not going to worry about where I'm parked. I'm going to focus more on just like, can we access it and can we not? I don't want to get into a bunch of like unnecessary battles if I don't have to. I mean, I'm not gonna, like, run away from them because I want the experience, but at the same time, like, I just don't want these videos to be nothing but that. So, but at least we are making progress somehow. Like I said, this is the furthest that I've come, as far as, like, trying to redo Final Fantasy, so, like, I am determined somehow. Alright, so this is Elfheim. It has to be. Yep, Elfheim. Let's see here. I just don't know what we can do. Please help our prince. So, I wonder how much staying at the inn is. Because every town gets... Whoa! 100 gil? Yeah, every town gets more and more expensive. So Cornelia was like 30 gil, Provoka was 50 gil, now this is 100 gil. Like, this better be some, like, luxury beds. Like, I'm talking, like, pure goose feather down or something. Alright, let's see what we got. Weapons are always important. Ooh, iron. Hell yeah. I'm gonna buy that. No doubt about it. Dagger, we don't have anything. Crochet? It doesn't do as much as the nunchucks, so... so we're just gonna do optimal. Also, if you hear my dogs barking, I apologize. I should, you know, I wish I was one of those fancy people that had soundproof rooms, but I don't. I just have computer room and 2 noisy pit bulls. We have a lot of magic shops here. I mean, these are elves, so... Ooh, Fyra. Now we're getting into that level 3 magic. Holy crap. Thundara, Fokara. Lowers invasion. I feel like with the dark magic, I can buy it, but I'm not gonna. I feel like with the dark magic, I really need to start strategizing more because you really only have 3 spell slots. And what's really kind of disappointing is, like, I remember that there was MP in the game, but I guess they've now changed the system for the Pixel Remaster where it's just, you just have so many uses of magic. Let's see, Copper Armlet, ooh, that'd be nice, just to give Cleyo a little bit of a buff, but I'm really not sure. Might hold off on that. Iron Shield, definitely, and it's only 80, so, like, I'm gonna take that. Leather Cap, yeah, I mean... It's only 65, but a helm though, yeah. And then I'll just need 2. I mean, I could buy the Copper Armlet, and then I could just come back, I could just get more gold, more gil. Do optimal, and then just for good measure, optimal. Okay. So everybody should be optimized. So we're already doing really well. I'm going to sell some of the stuff even though it's not worth anything. Just because, obviously, I don't want to have too much stuff in my bag, especially if I don't need it. Leather shield. Ooh, that saber I got, it sells for 180. That's not bad. So we got some of our money back. Obviously not enough to buy magic, but, I mean, we got some of it. I mean, it's not too terrible. I'm a sage. When the time is right, the future will be revealed to me. I shall wait patiently until then. But yeah, I feel like I really just need to strategize more when using dark magic because there are a lot of, like, status effects things. Weapons and armor made from mithril are sturdy and powerful. You should give them a try. You'll be surprised. And obviously I'm going to want to stock up on items. I'm not really sure, like, what items I'll need, but I really want to have, like, a hefty amount. Our princess is meant to become Elf King. Now what are we going to do? So we have more magic shops up here, but they obviously sell something different. Let me see. Yeah, these are level 4 magics. Ooh, they're so pricey. Haste, though. Haste, I'm really gonna want. Like, haste is so necessary. The thing with sleep is sleep can be, like, really, really useful, but at the same time, you know, there are some monsters that can't be affected by sleep. You know, whereas haste, though, on a journey I once took to the west, I wandered to an ancient castle. Okay. Not a soul could be found inside, and the whole place gave me the creeps. So that's one of our hints, is that to the west, there's a creepy castle. Here lies a link. Ta-da! So, that's just one of those Easter eggs that has been in Final Fantasy I forever. Everybody already knows about it, but I still just click on it either way. No one knows where Astos, King of the Dark Elves, has gone. Okay, so we're done checking out the town. Now we're going to check out the castle. We're going to give it a little look-see. So, let's see. Astos' curse has put our prince into a deep sleep from which he cannot awaken. Will you not aid our sleeping prince, or whatever? Our slumbering prince. Okay, so, obviously the Dark King Elf Astos, he stole into the castle, placed a curse on the prince, then Astos carted away all the treasures. So clearly our next boss is, well, our next big boss, I guess, is probably going to be Astos, but maybe it's not. The dwarves lie in a cage on the western edge. They're a friendly bunch. So we know the dwarves are to the west, but there's also a creepy castle to the west. So, like, do we go to the creepy castle or whatever? If I knew we didn't have to go to the Marsh Cave next, I would say that we would go to the creepy castle next. And I guess that's what I was kind of, like, saying about RPGs is, or at least these classic, like, retro RPGs, is you really gotta be careful. Oh no, I walked too far! I just talked about this, too. Ugh. But with classic RPGs, I guess this is what I mean. They basically say, oh, to the west is this, to the south is this, to the blah 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 is this. And then you kind of just have to, like, go and try different things. Not the Mystic Key. The treasure room has been secured. Yeah, I fucking know. Alright, I guess we're just gonna go check on the prince. We're gonna see what's up with him. We might as well. Okay. The princess slept under Astos' curse for 5 years. There must be a concoction that can rouse one from his sleep. So we're looking for a concoction? I don't know. I always felt like we were looking for an item. But I guess we're looking for a concoction. I don't know. All I know is we're looking for something, so we're gonna go ahead and I guess look for that. So heading to the west, I'm just looking at the landmass right now, but heading to the west, there's a lot out here. The thing, but yeah, so the thing with classic role-playing games is that oftentimes they would give you a bunch of destinations you could go to, and the whole point of it is that you're supposed to explore. Obviously, the games were so short back then, minus like the grinding. The games were so short back then, even still, that they wanted you to explore. They wanted you to check out the whole map. Because like I said, there are some areas where, like, I guess going in there is not necessary. Like, there are some places that are optional. I know that one thing that's optional in this game is upgrading your classes. You don't have to upgrade your class. Now, obviously, it'd be smart to do so, because the buff that you get from it is just astronomical. But I think technically it's an optional thing. You don't actually have to do it. You know, because like I said, you have to get one item. It's a rat tail is what it is. You have to get the rat tail, which is only dropped by, you know, one enemy in one dungeon, and it has a low drop rate. And this dungeon's like no joke. So you grind in this dungeon, you get this rat tail, then you have to take it to a special place, and then once you take it to this one special place, then you can get the upgrade. But like I said, it's not actually necessary. You could go to the final areas and do everything without it. It's just gonna make your game a lot harder. Same with the backtracking for the Mystic Key. You don't necessarily have to backtrack for anything. So the whole point of a role-playing game is they want you to explore the world and they want you to experience all these different things. So, you know, I always found it really cool that they did that, but the only problem is that you kind of end up in one of these situations where they'll tell you to go to all these different places, and you're supposed to go there and explore, and then figure out where you're supposed to go from there, and you're supposed to, like, it's like putting together the puzzle pieces, right? You're supposed to put together these puzzle pieces, and be like, oh, I went here and nothing happened because it said I needed this, so that whittles down on where I need to go. I need to either go here or here. Well, I went to this one place, and they said that they couldn't do it without this, or whatever, so now I actually need to go here, here, and here. You know, so it's really like being a detective, and, you know, it can be fun, but, I mean, I suffer from being impatient. So, I remember I was playing Dragon Quest IX, Sentinel of Starry Skies. Really fun game. Really loved it. I don't like the leveling system. I feel like level grinding takes way too long, and that's why it took me so long to beat the game. But I absolutely loved it, outside of that. I thought the story was great. I liked being able to create my own party of people. But anyways, they really weren't clear, like, on where you need to go. You eventually have to, like, go collect these items, and they're scattered all around the world, and you can see on the map where they are. But the thing is like, all these zones are, they're not level locked, but they have, obviously, they're leveling zones. And the thing is that they don't really explain to you, like, which leveled zones you should go to. So, like, say I'm level 10. Is this the Marsh Cave? Yeah, this is the Marsh Cave. But they don't really tell you, like, oh, you're level 10, you should go to this area next, because it's only level 15, right? You can literally sail anywhere, and so long as you can get there... Ooh, it's a booger. As long as you can get there, they'll let you play in that area. So I remember I was only like level 10, 15 or whatever, and I ended up in an area where everything was like level 20. I was getting my ass handed to me, and I had to level grind forever just to get to level like 25, 30, and then I found out I was in the wrong section. Like, I found out I was in the completely wrong section. That only did 2 damage, but that did 35? But that only did 2. These things got hella defense. Okay, so these... Okay, well, it's a green slime, so these things are gonna take magic to beat, but oh my gosh. But yeah, so I had to level grind so far just to, like, get up with this zone, like, catch up with this zone in freaking Dragon Quest, only to discover I wasn't even supposed to be there, that there were actually easier zones. So then by the time I actually got to the easier zone, you know, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go down to the basement yet. I don't want to actually complete the Marsh Cave because I'm already seeing that there's a lot of creatures I've never experienced here. I don't know what they do. I wonder if those guys are undead. They're shadows, but... yeah, I would say they're classified as undead. But yeah, like, it was crazy to me. So then I went to all these easier zones, and then I wasn't having any issue, because obviously I'd spent so much time, just in these freaking... They can blind me? What the hell? But yeah, I spent all this time, like, level grinding this one area, and then, you know, so I was able to easily go back to, these easier areas and just plow through it. I was wondering if blind stayed after battle, but I guess it doesn't. I really have to relearn this, because some status effects are going to stay after battle, some aren't. And at this point, I'm really just kind of searching around the first floor. I want to at least get the treasure, because here's the thing. Whenever I go into a dungeon... Man, these things are taking a lot of damage. Whenever I go into a dungeon, I do like to look for treasure, at least on the first floor. That way, whenever I come back in, I know, like, exactly where I'm supposed to be going. The problem is like, I've already seen a basement. So, I know that there's obviously, we're going to be going down instead of up. But, let's see what's up here. But I feel like, oh no, not 3 werewolves. Okay, yeah, so this is obviously a very poison-heavy dungeon. Oh, I'm already poisoned. This is obviously going to be a poison-heavy dungeon. I don't have a lot of antidotes. So yeah, so we're definitely not going to be able to do the Marsh Cave. I'm going to want to stock up on antidotes, and when I say that, I mean we're going to get like 50 to 80 of these bad boys. Because even if I get the spell that'll cure poison, I only have so many spell slots, and I'm going to want to save that for a boss or something. So yeah, we're not gonna play that game. Yeah, I only got four antidotes. That's not gonna last me. Oh, and see, we've got stairs that are leading down, so that'll lead down to the basement as well, right? Yeah, basement too. Alright, so we have ladders and stairs that lead down to the basement. So I have a feeling there's obviously going to be one real path and one path that's going to take us to a different section that's more for, like, treasure. So we're probably going to have to spend some time exploring the Marsh Cave. Obviously, again, I did want to make these into longer episodes, but I don't want to, like, have you experience, like, all the fights as I wander around and get lost, because, I mean, eventually I'm just going to run out of things to talk about. Ooh, a new achievement. I'm just getting achievements all over the place. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spend some time leveling. I'm not really sure how many levels I'm going to gain. There was a lot of magic back in Elfheim that I really want to utilize. I want us to go back there. I want us to buy a lot of the spells. I think I'm going to prioritize, like I said, being more strategic. I'm going to try and get Shujo to learn haste so that we can get more attacks on our enemies, which I think will be beneficial. Obviously, if there's white magic that can cure poison, I'm going to want to do that for the boss battle if the boss has anything to do with poison, which is a high possibility given the nature of this dungeon, the fact that it's all mossy and disgusting and everything in here can poison your characters. So I think I'm going to want to do that. Not really sure how many levels I'm going to gain. I think we've bought all the equipment that we can buy as far as, like, optimizing equipment. So, so I'm not going to worry about that. It's mostly just going to be buying those spells that I need, especially like Cura, Poison, that sort of thing. Like I said, and just mostly just strategizing, so. But yeah, so I think I'm just going to end the episode here. But thank you guys so much for watching, as always. If you're liking this series, go ahead and leave me a like, let me know. If you have any suggestions for this game, or if you just want to, you know, chat about it in general and your love for Final Fantasy, go ahead and leave me a comment in the comment section. I usually reply to every single one of the comments that I get since I get so few on this channel. But yeah, thank you so much for joining me in this adventure, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Alright, ciao you guys.